It's been a long while since I read the Guardian article, but honestly, I couldn't resist this particular one because every single paragraph is a gift that keeps on giving. And it shows just how completely detached ideologues are from the real world. You realize that most things in life aren't correct or wrong solutions, they're trade offs. So when you decide to do something, you're going to have some consequences because of your decision, no matter what that is. If you decide to go left, you can't go right. The expression, you can't have your cake and eat it too, exists for this particular reason. So let's see what the article says, because honestly, these ideologues, they're like children. They just cannot conceive that they can be blamed for something that they chose. It's ridiculous. No, they have to blame other people. So the article starts with the clickbait phrase, selfish, career-driven women, gullible dupes of the fertility industry, victims of the patriarchy. No one is saying this, by the way. Like, no one is saying that if you're career-driven, you're selfish. In fact, you can get a career as a doctor, you can save many other people's lives. Like, just having a place in society that you're helping other people can be good enough. Not everyone has to pop up 8 or 9 kids, right? But no one is saying this, but they feel as if they should. And this is why they feel bad about themselves, so they're now blaming it on society. Leading anthropologist Maria C. Einhorn first embarked on her decade-long study of why women freeze their eggs. The popular narrative was largely one of derision. I mean, you need an anthropologist to find out why women freeze their eggs? It's because, first of all, they're wealthy. Like, freezing your egg costs money. Not everyone can do it. A woman that lives in a ghetto is probably not going to freeze her eggs. And secondly, it's because they do not have a relationship and they do not want to have children then, so they want to have children later on. Why do you need an anthropologist in order to figure this shit out? It's like getting a psychologist to find out why people cross the road, just to get to the other side. You do not need a specialist, someone with a university degree that studied for 4 or 5 years in order to answer the intricate mysteries of these things. But anyway, in academic circles, egg freezing, and still is, seen as a calculated act by women to hack their fertility by prolonging it through medical intervention. As if this was something very intentional that women were doing in this kind of planned, almost feminist narrative. Has nothing to do with feminism or anything like that. Medicine offers an option for people to prolong their fertility, so some women take it. I don't understand, like, why is this a mystery? The argument was so compelling that it formed one of her initial hypotheses. Is it career and educational aspiration that's driving the turn to egg freezing? The answer is yes. A resounding yes. You look at people who aren't educated. You go to a rural community where you have farmers and they have like 6 or 7 kids. You go to an impoverished neighborhood. They have like 5 or 6 kids. You go to poor nations in Africa or the Middle East. They have a lot of children. And then look at the doctor, look at a lawyer. They don't have kids. There's many reasons for that. It's the educational system. Takes too long. You need like at least 1/3 of your life. They're just dedicated to exams, to study. Like if you want to become a lesbian dance master. I mean, you need to have a PhD for that now. It's such a difficult thing to train a person to reimagine their entire worldview that you can't do it in a couple of months. So it's interesting, right? Like you can learn a useful skill in a couple of months. You know, you can learn carpentry, you can learn coding, you're not going to be exceptional at it, but you're going to start to at least be at the level where someone could hire you for your skills, right? So you can do that very fast. But if you want to become a gender ideologue, a progressive individual, well, that takes years. And you have to focus a lot on studying. You can't really have a child that's crying and you have to take care of it. And then it's also the fact that most of the people that go to universities are from wealthy families and they have money, which means that if you have money, you can spend a lot of things on entertainment. So you can go out partying, you can go out clubbing, you can go out enjoying things, you can go out on various dates. Like dating costs money. If you're a poor person, you can't do any of this. You know what you can do? You can stay home and fuck. This is what our grandparents' generation used to do. They didn't have clubbing. They didn't have the mall. They didn't have social media. No, they had fucking for entertainment. And they also had other activities which would also relate to fucking. Like, for example, going up to the village fair. Yeah, my point is that it's very easy to explain why the richer a person is, the less likely they are to have children at an early age. You don't need a scientist for this, right? But what's fascinating is that they conclude that because 150 interviews later, women say that they couldn't find a man that's up to their standard, then it's the men's problem. Like, no, seriously, right? So, like, imagine the opposite study where you have a group of men that are being asked, like, why do you not want to have children? And they're like, well, it's because we can't find women that want to be stay-at-home wives. They would immediately be labeled as misogynists. In fact, in this article, they label such thinking as misogynistic, right? So, like, they pick the group that they like the most. They consider even the smallest grievances that is completely not due to their choices to be the group that's harmed. And meanwhile, the other group that just doesn't care, it's like, yeah, well, I have other options. Like, they even complain on the fact that the educated man that earns a lot, he dates the 18-year-old supermodel. He doesn't date the 45-year-old CEO, right? And it's the man's fault. But, like, the man is happy. You know, like he's living the dream. He doesn't have any issues with this. Like, he's not the one complaining. He's not the one that has a problem with this. It's like, oh my God, there's CEOs that are 45 years old and they're single. It's your fault. No, because this is what they're literally saying, which is just mind-boggling, right? If you're 45 years old and you're a millionaire, you should know that there are other women out there who are also 45 years old, who are single, and it's your fault. Like, you have to go get them. Otherwise, you're a son of a bitch. A misogynistic pig. How does that make any sense? Right? So, basically, like, they want to encourage young people to sleep around, have sex, don't make a commitment, don't even consider having kids at a young age. Then you have to freeze your eggs, right? And when you are at the correct age that you want to have children, you want to have a family, then it's men's fault for not wanting to marry that. I don't even know, like, how they can even justify their view of the world. Like, how can you even justify your ideology? Like, usually, you know, when I make a choice, I don't blame other people for my choices. Again, like, you can be very happy with the choice. Not everyone wants to have kids. That's fair. You know, like, you can have a person that just reaches a certain age, didn't have a family, you know, they may regret it, but they can say, well, it was my decision. At least I have money. At least I have wealth. I got like $5 million in the bank, and I'm pretty sure that money is going to take care of me when I'm old. Perfectly understandable, you know, like, perfectly reasonable statement to have, as long as you don't blame other people for it. Some people may even be happy with that statement. You know, there's other people that have kids and none of the kids love them and they're poor and okay. But that's also due to their choices. You know, maybe they didn't parent correctly. Maybe it was misfortune. I don't know. But like, they would not blame society for what is happening to them. So I'm going to do a live stream now, and I'm going to finish reading this article because honestly, it's probably going to take me at least 1 or 2 hours to go through it. But trust me when I say, every single statement here, every single one, is going to make you laugh. Like, your sides are going to go in orbit whenever you read what these ideologues have to say and how they're blaming other people for their issues. It's like, I genuinely do not care if someone else is single and they can't find someone. You know what's also interesting? When a man is single and they can't find someone, that's an incel. Right? Or they used to call them, when I was a kid, they used to say virgin as a pejorative. It's like, oh, you virgin boy, you know, like it was something horrible. Why haven't you gotten a lady yet? I mean, it's interesting when the shoe is on the other foot, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys at my live stream if you want to join. There's going to be a link that will appear in the comment section if you're watching this live. Click on it, take you there, and we can read this article together. I'll see you there. Take care.